Story time. So last Saturday, it was around 10 a.m. and I was in my bed sleeping like a little baby. All of a sudden, my dad barges in my room saying, "Nick, you are wasting the day away. I want you to get your butt up and I want you to mow the lawn." Okay, I will. So I'm walking downstairs, I'm going outside to get the lawnmower, but then I realized that the lawn is already cut. But I didn't go back to my dad and start fighting with him because I knew he was already in such a bad mood. So as I was cutting the grass, even though it was already cut, my dad comes back with another demand and he says, "Nick, I want you to move those pots and move them somewhere else, just so they're not in the way." In agitation, I stop the lawnmower and I immediately go to the pots to move them somewhere else. So as I was walking to the pots, I hear a subtle sound coming from one of them. And what I find in the pot is so crazy. He found was a crazy dynamic chupacabra. Just kidding, it was a snake. There was a garter snake in our pot and I didn't know what to do. At first, I wanted to get rid of it. But as time and time went on, I slowly grew to love it. My mom told me to get rid of the snake because she hates snakes. She even said to not even name it because we'll grow attached to it. But we did anyway. We named the snake Corona because it was very cute, but something was also happening as well. My grandparents decided to visit the same time we found Corona, and my grandpa thought it was a smart idea to pour beer on Corona. He poured a Corona on Corona! Corona turned upside down and everything. I thought he died. But he didn't, he was just boozed up. At this point, I had very little hopes for Corona, but fortunately, he sobered up and he was a-okay. Everything was so good until my godmother decides to pay a visit. When my godmother saw Corona, she said that he needs to go in the wild because he was a wild animal. I sort of agreed with her because a snake can't live in a pot for the rest of its life. So my godmother picked it up and set it free, unfortunately. And it was okay because a wild animal needs to live in the wild. And it was so wholesome. But soon after, a huge bird swooped down and took Corona. And I'm in utter shock, but I am so mad because it's my godmother's fault. If my godmother never grabbed Corona and set Corona free, then a bird would have never ate it. Even a pot is better than a bird's mouth. And that's my story time on how my godmother killed my pet.